Steve's art in the background.
Is he? Is he here?
No, Steve's art.
Oh, Steve's art, yeah. I'm just reflecting on the movement of Glastonbury now, you know. And we had our elections yesterday. And in the morning it was quite a dark day. A lot of people were kind of feeling quite anxious for no reason at all. Not knowing why they felt anxious. But the importance of the day kind of came to truth as it went through. And I was walking up the Tor with my dog, Sage, and coming down to the two rocks at the bottom where the labyrinth, the entrance to the labyrinth is, where the bench there, the front entrance, was a black rabbit jumped across the path. And I remembered hearing something from someone, that prophecy of when the black rabbits return to the Tor, there'll be 100 years of peace, or something like that. And then I came back into town. I went to my mother's house where I'm staying, and the mayor of Glastonbury was sitting in the car park in his car with his wife next to him on his mobile phone, and all dressed to the nines. I thought, why is he sitting in his car? Why is he sitting in the car park, you know, in this important day? And then I had this feeling that great change was happening. And I had the feeling that the Green Party was going to take power. And now I hear John Cousins that he's in the town council, and 3 other Green Party representatives are in the town council, which makes...
Is Danny one of the Greens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which makes a quarter of the town council Green Party. And it's a time of great change, man. Great change. And people have tried this in the past, but it's about divine time. And your rhyme tells me we just have to move in that divine time with the flow. And the flow is love, and the law is love. And words are not important, and it's not important who tells us these words, as long as we hear them. Hear them with the heart, and that they're said with love and received with love. Christ consciousness is all around us. It's all in our hearts, connecting us through the magic. And we're understanding it more and more. We're understanding that magic more and more as we observe the world from our heart and not our head, and not panic shit, you know. No one's seeing me do this sacred rite on this hill. No one's witnessing this magic that I'm seeing. The black rabbit and the mayor of Glastonbury sitting in his car, you know. I don't even know what it means, but I know it means something. And I know it's the flow of love. I don't question it, I accept it, and I don't bring it into a space of how am I going to get this out to the world? How will people understand this? Because that's my ego, and I can't let my ego, I can't let the demonic serpent rise through my kundalini. I have to allow the serpent of rainbow, love and light, rise gently through those spheres and through the spheres of fear, you know. And I'm not replacing that rainbow flow with dark demonic demons anymore.
Grey bilge.
Yeah, and it's not for us to work with those energies. They work with us. And if it takes 300 years for this body to understand that, so be it. Or if it takes 3 seconds, so be it. But if it takes 3 seconds, we've got another 300 years to really understand it. But divine time, what is 300 years? What is a year? It's not the year that we know now, is it? You know, it's not the year that's presented to us.
Love is undressing naked revelations. Every hippie's dream is an apocalypse to stand naked and revealed in front of our brothers and sisters,
Gods and
parents
goddesses.
kids. So to be brave enough to take our metaphysical and eventually physical clothes off and make love. Doesn't have to be sex either. Like, making love isn't sex, lads. That's miseducation.
So yeah, beautiful words, man. Really important.
In terms of revelations,
you know?
like, this is 7 years ago. It was at Denny's house I wrote this. A lot of the deeper, darker stuff in that was feeling old, paranoid people. I met one of them today in the house I stayed in last night. As I came out the door, there was a woman came to the window downstairs and called me, kind of thing, and she came around and she was just telling me all her fears. That I could have been anyone, and, you know, who was it that was staying in the house upstairs, and what goes on there, and are they drug dealers?
Suspicion.
And where's the girl been? Because she's been gone for a few weeks. Like, she
Do
might
not
be
be
murdered.
suspicious. Be delicious.
She was just full of all this fear from the television that, you know, people go missing, they get murdered and raped, and she's worried for their little girl. She's only 6 years old, and the woman was talking as if the family upstairs had been wiped out by some evil demons that are running around everywhere in society. And that was the start of my day today. That was the moment I walked out of the house I'd slept in. That was how the day began, was with this woman. Now, it was great for her. It was like this prayer. I mean, she was really happy and relieved because I listened and chatted with her for like nearly a half an hour while she poured out all this anxiety that she has. At first, it was projected at me. For the first knock on the window, I was an object. When she came around and saw me, I was a confirmation I looked like a hippie in Glastonbury. And she's not a hippie, she's a localer. And she established these things pretty quick. But I just was open and did listen to her and all that thing, and she quite quickly didn't see me as being a problem, and she was relieved. But she still wanted to excuse herself then that she disturbed me and all that, and just let me know why it was that she stopped me in my tracks and why she was taking up my time. And then she was a little apologising for taking up my time, but I was saying, no, it's fine. It's really fine. But that was how my day started today, yeah, and it's significant. Something's changing, and we can measure it in these tiny ways every day.
Yeah.
In these tiny ways,
We'll
the
get bigger.
polarities are meeting each other. Up until very recently, the polarities have been getting further away from each other. But now, left has gone so far left, it's become right, and right has gone so far right, it's become left. That polarity is flipped now. I don't think the sun's going to start rising in the west. I think it's an inner polarity that we were expecting as a pole shift. I think that inner polarity
the Earth
inside
is
of us
also
has
moving,
shifted.
but it's not going to. It's
I know,
not going
but
to flip.
the fear thing that was poured at us about a polarity flip. What I'm experiencing is that it has flipped.
Shifting.
Everyone who used to be scared shitless of me because of the stuff I know and used to avoid me and just not get into it with me, they're all coming to me these days. That's recent.
Because they face their own fears.
Something's causing them. Like, you've seen a few of them today. You've seen me be able to reverse the polarities back to, if you're going to be like you've always been, then go away from me. And I've just read that their polarities are still fucked. They're not learning that something's shifted. They're not willing to make the peace with me that I've offered by meeting them. They're getting all the guns out of the past and accusing me from things of the past, and I'm saying, okay, go away then. I'll see you in the future, guaranteed, but I'm not bargaining with a forked tongue person anymore. Everyone is welcome, but the forked tongue isn't allowed around me. That's how I feel, so that's what I'm doing.
I didn't see that though in them, but maybe I'm too nice.
I've got extra special X-ray eyes. Like, I mean, I'm a possessed demon. I can see demons because I've had demons in me. Because I can run demonic systems in my programming inside my Christ consciousness. I've got little programs that I can run, so I can run any demon's programs at this stage inside of my Christ consciousness intuition grid. As far as I know, that seems to be an explanation for how my conversational intelligence is so intensely quick. You might not hear us very much if you go that far away.
Come back.
People have complained about this problem before with me.
Speak up. Need a microphone.
It's all okay. I think it's grand when you can't hear what I'm saying. Gives you
Make
time to
up-
think for yourselves.
Make up the words from your heart.
Misunderstanding, sure, she's a fine lady.
So is Mr. E.
Stepdaughter of truth and wisdom or something. So for me, like I was saying to you earlier, what we've been holding in our hearts for all this time, and we've been having to protect it and even keep it secret for all this time. Now that the polarities have shifted, we no longer have to cover it over. Now all we have to do is let it flow and nothing can touch us. The fear out there is saying they're coming to get every one of us in our own houses with the census forms, with anything. They're passing a law now that means that any squat is now illegal, which means that they can send the cops into any squat in the country suddenly because one day they've put this bill through and arrest anyone who happens to live in a squat up until then. Some people have been living in the same squat for 10 years like it's their home, but they passed a piece of legislation, and this is what I mean about there's stuff coming that's going to devour people. It's coming soon. I ain't prophesying yet, I just hear it in the news, and I don't listen like a muppet, I listen like, oh, this is all WikiLeaks, that's like what the news is. So, heavy stuff is coming now. They're going to crack Israel very soon, and that's it, shut down of all the European passports, shut down of all the countries. Once they've shut that down, they're going to start popping individual countries with anarchy. And because anarchy is kicking off in individual biggest cities and capital cities, Eurocop all over Europe is going to kettle people and deal with all that stuff. So all the demonstrations we've been having, they're practice runs for the police to be able to deal with when anarchy is set off in the cities. Charlie Beach and everyone else is playing right into their hands. All those people going to those marches in London are playing right into the hands of, eventually they came for everyone. That's coming, Tor. I know it's horrible and I know it sounds so terribly radical and mad and stuff, but I know it's coming. And it's
just
this
doesn't
summer.
register with me, man.
It's this summer. It's already happening, man. It's already happening in loads of other countries, but not in Europe. What we have is a managed TV media telling us what's going on.
I've seen it happen,
But Stokes Croft has happened. And that wasn't a setup by them, that was an accident by them. But they are intending to have their setups where they create anarchy and send in the police and report it all on the news, and then it's passports at the ready. And they've divided those who've still got money, which is the elite.
So the best thing is not to play the games.
For us,
not create anarchy.
For us entirely, but I am saying be aware that this is coming because we must be
peaceful.
Totally peaceful. Totally musical. Totally singing. Now in the polarity of things, the news is getting heavier and heavier. The things I've just said are heavier and heavier. But me and most of the people I know are all getting happier and happier at the same time.
Consciousness is shifting.
There's the polarity. So when it gets shit, when they do finally play their final cards, which I'm saying is this year, not next year.
The law of love will win.
Yes, guaranteed. Guaranteed. I'm just saying, let's be ready. Limber up a little bit the next few days.
Embody the love. Embody the love.
Did you show them this one already?
I did, yeah.
Let's show them another one.
This is, where did this come from? This is.
These are all Steve's. Oh, Steve's was.
Well, this looks like it's some kind of logo or something.
Yeah, they're all. You know, he's kind of layering things on top of each other because he's doing it in a not a proper place, not a proper state of mind.
Beautiful.
Not a proper community to show it to. His own best friends giving up on him at long last, finally having given up on him. You know, that was a bit shocking for me to hear today.
What was that?
Oh, nothing. No.
Hope. Have you got copies of that?
No. I lost one here yesterday, though, with Steve. Madly enough, it's the only Irish copy that I have with some Irish poems on top. I'm going to publish up to it on it.
Yeah, good.
There's one that's all about Tomey's death and all that as well.
Is it?
Yeah, it was written a few
In
months.
here?
No, the whole book.
Oh.
It was written a few months. I wrote the poems a
I'd
few
love
months
to read that.
before he died. I wrote the poems a few months before he died, and they reference his death all the way through. It's crazy.
I'd love to
I found
see
a
that.
poem in his flat. And a couple of days after he died, I got the keys and went in and had a look at the flat and all that thing. I got them off Mark Healy.
Before he died?
No.
After, 2 days after he died.
And nearly ripped Mark Healy's fucking face off him. Because he lied to me about the keys and delayed it for a day for no reason. But I found a poem in Tomey's flat called the Uni Corns Keys, written by him in a little spiral notebook. Quite long. All about us as Templars, soul journey, like that one I just read, like the first part of that one I just read, written in my style, my rhythm, my rhyming frequencies, my spellings, written by Tomey. It's crazy.
I'd love to read that. Have you got that?
That's in the other book. I haven't got a copy of the other book anymore. It's on here though, it's on the computer.
Oh, okay, good.
Fucking hell, silly me. But like I say, Tomey's come up really, really strong this time. Yeah, he's come up 4 times in the last day for me, but this is a 5th again now.
Because Julie, my girlfriend, she was, that was the first person she met.
Tell Matt again what you were telling me about your girlfriend and the book.
Yeah. Julie, my girlfriend, is from Belgium. Yeah. First time she came here, she went into Portal for the Immortal, met Tomey, and she stayed with him and everything like that. And, yeah.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah, right, there you go.
But I stayed with Cozzy.
Right.
Harvey met Kim.
Cozzy brought you around to me the first day or something, wasn't it?
And
they brought around a piece of recording equipment and recorded the fairy tale for the first time ever. The first time Matt turned up, I recorded fairy tale for the first time ever.
So she invited me to her Easter lunch with her family last Easter, Sunday, and we turned up and her auntie said, "Oh, you left this in my house." One thing that her auntie brought to give to Julie, because she left it in her house, was Kevin's poetry book. And I said, "What the fuck? What is that doing here?"
I'll have her. She's got taste. Right?
Hands off, you bastard.
No, I was saying that about you. You were saying that. This girl's alright. She reads good books.
Yeah. She's definitely
I'm just going to lend this boy
to the Nordic. What's your connection with the Nordic stories then, with the fairy folk? Yeah.
In truth.
Yeah. No other way, is it?
No, but there's various levels of it. Highest level truth, oldest version.
The only truth.
To my mind, there was a continent of Atlantis and a massive flood, a fucking disaster. It was an issue between us lot and them lots that's come up again these days. This is the replay of what came up last time.
Oh, right, the dark and the light. Yeah.
They were doing all the same things back then. Genetic manipulation and putting bits of animals on people and fucking around with extraterrestrials rather than helping.
Yeah, all been there before. But back then we had a stronger consciousness, so they could fuck things up better than now.
They're your words.
Thank you. Yeah, go on.
They created their version of HARP back then, and they unleashed disaster on the planet. Spiteful bastards. Because we told them off for fucking around with nature, they turned nature against everyone. They turned the mother against everyone. They tried to prove to us that life isn't all we thought it was. That it was just something to control, not something to live. That's our difference. That's the core nuts of it. So, cataclysm. A spaceship came and took some of us away. It didn't take the whole continent away. Just some. Dropped us off in Egypt with the pyramids and stuff and the culture that was over there. That's my memory of that time. That's not any other account. Other people might remember it different. That's my memory of it. That's how deep I've gone into who the fuck are we and what the fuck's going on. I remember who I was in that time, what my awareness was in that time, what my advice and what I tried to instigate in that time, all the delays and how it wasn't heard as advice back at that time, and all the fucking people that were slaughtered because of those delays back at that time. I remembered all that.
The weak ones and the strong ones.
And the months after Tomey died, man, that's how fucking deep I went into wanting to know what the fuck is going on. I was already well on the ball, but that's how far I went to find out everything else. I understood that what killed Tomey is that there is a quagmire, particularly here. It should have a spiral going down out of that quagmire to let it be emptied, but it's a quagmire because someone's plugged the spiral.
Overflowing.
So that's why I went so deep into unconsciousness and demonic possession accusations. Is because I went swimming down in the quagmire and walked along the bottom surface and looking for where the plug hole is. And I found it and I ripped it out. And then I left. Eventually. It took another 6 months after I'd unplugged it before I was allowed to leave, but then a van came and picked up all my stuff and drove me to my parents' house, so job done.
Nordic.
Again. Ireland and Britain didn't sink because we're still here. And the peoples that were still here were still here. They say all this stuff about ice ages and stuff, and maybe I'm not so sure about any of that. I don't know, but I ain't so sure about what is being said. I have good reason to doubt it without even reading any of it. But you have continuous occupation from the fall of Atlantis up to the present day in Ireland and Britain. And that's unique. Not totally unique, but you know, they're pretty unique places, and they ended up ruling the world a few times. These islands. These islands rule the world now in the hands of the wrong people. But these islands used to rule the world in the hands of the right people. Post-Atlantis. The wisdom spread from Ireland to Egypt and the Far East, and then it came back. And as it came back defending itself from an onslaught of those Atlanteans, all reincarnating back again and all forming their karma again and all doing the same fucking thing again. And what had we? Nothing but sadness, understanding what their process was and understanding that they will not rest until they try to exterminate all of us, and that we can't make the same mistake of thinking we can exterminate them and that would sort it out. We had to just try and hold our ground and hold on to our culture. And we knew that that's all we could do was hold on to our culture. We couldn't actually eradicate them and get rid of them. Nor we couldn't treaty with them and trust the treaty. So all over the world, that's what they've done. They've made treaties with every place they've slaughtered people in, and then they've reneged on their treaties and made new ones and reneged on those and made new ones again, until those treaties are now called laws and statutes. So Thor and the Nordic gods, they are the very same people as the Irish and the British. That's all there is to it. Different times that we lived in different places, but all the very same people. And Steve's artwork says
same
that.
Archetypes.
Steve's artwork says it more than anything, like all ethnic people are the same people. Everyone's a traveller except the people who've been turned into orcs. Everyone's a fairy except the ones that have been turned into orcs. Nobody was ever born an orc. Evil is an idea, but it's also an idea that's carried by bloodlines
into their body.
Out. So that's a difficulty.
They forget the body actually is made up of light, not denseness of skin and blood.
And they forget that they, the spirit, are in the body. That's what it is. They don't understand that their spirit is in their body. Or in fact that their body is in their spirit is the real truth of it, but they don't even get...
So the depth of the well, basically.
Now, the Creator made it this way. That's why we can't eradicate them. And we've all learned.
We're all given the
We've all
opportunity
learned
to learn.
everything through this dualistic slaughter.
Mm.
But anyone who's holding a grudge at this stage has missed the point of what creation is and what created us. God has a mother is
Love
all I
is
need
the
to say
answer.
about this. God has a mother. There's Tomey's poem.
The law of love. Ah.
Shall I read it out to the camera properly?
Mm.
We'll do a stop start on the video.